what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it.
I was thinking a little bit about Blake Baker yesterday, and it's because of Mizzou defensive tackle Christian Williams, who was asked about Blake Baker yesterday. He said that maybe this quote comes from your interview then, but he said that the Baker absence, what he's feeling more is not that it's on a personal level more than anything, right? Saying like, quote, you don't necessarily lose plays, you more so lose like a brother,
right? Yeah.
And it just got my thinking because it was so clear that the greatest failing of the Madhouse era was just a complete lack of any sort of connection with the players.
Yeah.
I mean, they obviously didn't like him outside looking in, but even talking to people around the building, and his personality just didn't seem to be much there, whereas Baker's just this, like, got an overwhelming personality. So you could not have gone in a more opposite direction stylistically, not talking scheme, stylistically going from Madhouse to Blake Baker, and I feel like, I don't know if it's a younger player thing, a new generation thing, but he feels really well suited to making massive strides with this defense. And I know we keep trying to blunt our expectations. We're saying, well, they can be top 50, right?
They can just not suck.
But how about this? When he was at Mizzou, the year before he got there, they were outside the top 100. They were awful.
They were horrid, yeah.
His 2 years there, they were 33rd both years.
Yeah.
Does Mizzou have more talent than LSU does defensively?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, like, no, I feel like we should expect LSU to be a, like, top 35 defense at least. Like, we got to bump that up.
Yeah, so, asking Christian about Blake Baker, like, he had a big smile on his face, and he talked about some of that stuff that you're talking about, and also, like, how the communication was, and he felt like they had a voice, but not an overpowering voice, but just a voice, and, like, calls for concern. Hey, Coach, here's what we're seeing.
Yep.
Can we adjust to that? And allows them to have just a voice. And Greg Penn told me earlier this year, he's like, we didn't have that. Because he was with Blake when he was first year, so he knows Blake. He's like, look, we missed that. We weren't allowed to speak up in meetings. And so I think it's going to go a long way. And, yeah, Blake, what he did with that Missouri defense. So Chris Budden went to Missouri, and so, we were doing the show together yesterday, and she was like, you think your defense was embarrassing last year? Like, Missouri was one of the worst in school history.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I think LSU probably was too. But she's like, and then Blake comes in, and it's like immediate success, immediate change. Now, I called my guy out for this. Eli's like, yeah, but Blake was great, but third down explosive offensive runs, we were 83rd in the country.
Hell yeah! and you know that Eli's saying that like a big tongue in cheek, finding the one angle to.
He had
him on.
4 like just absurd stats in analytics. And he's like, we're 72nd in that, and
yeah, just try to take him down a notch.
But I can tell that it hurt Drink. I forget what his answer was yesterday, and he was talking about having great players back, but when he started talking about losing his defensive staff, I can tell, like when something bothers somebody.
Well, we never talk about Peoples, but Peoples apparently, too, is a huge pickup and a huge loss.
And Jake Olson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's something that Missouri knew that when they lost that defensive staff, it was going to affect their season, and they had to, try to do the best thing that they could and go hire a coordinator and get a couple transfers in. But, again, like you could tell in his voice and demeanor when I asked him the question I'm talking about Eli Drinkwitz now, it hurt him losing all of his defense.
And stylistically, I think those two are very similar. We talked about that. But, yeah, I guess after the Mizzou day, my expectations for the LSU defense and belief in Blake Baker has actually gone up even more after hearing them. And, again, if Mizzou could go from outside the top 100 to the 33, why can't LSU? And remember, we talked to Brian Kelly a couple days ago, and we asked about which position groups impressed you the most. I was not framing that in my head at all as a D-line question. And he went out of his way to be like, look, we got more than you think there, and we got what we need. And the other thing that I've been thinking about with Brian Kelly, Jake, is for years now he's been hyping year 3.
Oh, yeah.
Even last year, when everybody was putting the championship expectations
He did
on
it
him,
here.
Yeah, he kept saying, "Well, I don't know." Yeah, and then his press conference here, he straight up said, like, "Look, everywhere I've ever been, year 3's been great.
Yeah,
a major step forward." So, feeling pretty bullish on our Tigers right now.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.